In terms of building this platform, both from a technological perspective, but also just from a kind of business strategy perspective, what else is going on that's inclusive of this notion of being in an advanced TV world?
Sure. We look at advanced TV that is anything that's data empowered, and Audience Studio is just one piece of that. So it would allow you to create the targets, and we'll work with OpenAP and work with clients like Nadine. But really, we're looking at how to use data across the board. One of the ways we're doing that is through contextual targeting. So we're using the data to empower context and making sure our prime pods hit the right people. So are we looking at the shows? Are we crawling the shows with AI, making sure we understand what the content is, and then putting an advertisement next to it? Regardless of the person, we'll have that targeted, but also do we have the right context in the show? Because, for example, if you're watching a show that like This Is Us, and there's a tremendous amount of emotion there, do you really want to hear about a Big Mac? No, you want to hear about life insurance. You want to hear about car insurance, something that's touching to you and your family. And there's a lot of power that can be had for the advertiser, making sure that manages. We see that with the prime pods, we're seeing a lot more brand recall in that first spot than if you just tuck an ad in, maybe 2, 3 ads in, or pods later on in the show. So advanced advertising encompasses all of that. Looking at the person is just one piece.
Yeah.
And I think if you look at OpenAP as sort of an arc of investment over a multi-year period, we've been in market 7, 8 months with a platform that essentially does very little. It allows for an advertiser to create a standard advanced segment across all publishers, share it with publishers, and have someone else measure the results. So we're out of our grade your own homework business. That's where it started, but that is not where it's ending. When you get Fox, Turner, Viacom, NBCU, Univision, and others together to talk about advanced television, to talk about what are those things that we should make more consistent. Think about almost like that supply chain that is television advertising. Okay, what more can we do around planning? What more can we do around, well, I have an advanced audience. What if I want to plan against that? What if I want to buy against that? What if I want to optimize against that for reach, for deduplicated reach in a more consistent way? Maybe those are things that we should consider solving. Go to the end of this. How do we start to think about measurement? I mean, C-Flight is a great step forward in terms of thinking about multi-platform measurement, but should we just solve that as an industry and in a way that the OpenAP platform is spitting out your multi-platform post, right? And so I think there are a number of opportunities. So when Sean and Joe and sort of our other ad sales leaders get together and we talk about where do we take this, it's really about what do we do next, not where do we stop.
And are we at a point where, are we still waiting for technology to catch up? Or do we have enough technology and waiting for business processes to adapt to what's now possible?
I don't think we can wait.
Well, but
this is why we have developers. Like, why we have developers is because we were waiting, and we were waiting for companies or ad tech to try and solve this for us.
Yeah.
And I think what happened is when we got together and we looked at the problem, we said, you know what? We're going to go develop a bespoke solution that is going to solve some of the foundational elements.
Right, which suggests that we were lacking technology that held the business back.
Absolutely.
Because we often, listen, digital's been back and forth, right? First, there wasn't the technology necessary to do new things, and then it became the other, which was there's plenty of technology, but what we needed was business evolution to catch up.
I think that's more the case.
Yep.
So I think that for us, we need scale. You're absolutely right. I think working together is a step in the right direction. For us, I don't think TV anytime soon is ever going to go away. We need you guys to evolve into the future in a meaningful way. We definitely want more targetability. Contextual, we've seen good results with already when we've done it. It makes sense. It's actually something we've always done in places like magazines, really, when you wanted to be opposite the right beauty edit, right?
Yep.
So again, nothing new, but it makes sense, right? But I think it's super important to everything you said. So I think the technology's there, at least enough to get going. It's the legacy processes that need to be adjusted with new thinking.
Exactly.
And again, I think the opportunity, marketers, media people at some clients are pretty sophisticated in this area and have been pushing forward because we haven't waited, right? We've been trying to push ourselves forward while we've waited for the industry. So you should get some of us involved to during the plumbing stage,
Yep.
so that we can move faster when you're ready to launch some of these new things, because we've been thirsty, and we'll drink faster if we're in the big, in it with you.
I love it.
But I think television premium content is something everybody wants more of, and I think the fact that consumers can consume it everywhere just makes the demand higher. So it's not either or Google, Facebook, or the networks. It's there's enough for everybody.
Yeah.
I think the technology on the TV side is not there yet. So
On the
as
linear,
much
you mean linear specifically?
linear technology. So for years and years, we've been using the same technology. Freewheel is making great strides in the space and is moving towards preparing that technology for linear. But we have the ability now to create incredible segments and through OpenAP, or we have the ability to optimize. And the systems for linear television need to be able to accommodate that and exchange out ads in more real time to make sure we can provide ads that work. So it's come a long way, but it's not quite there yet. From the business perspective, I think the workflow is there on the digital side. I think I think not so much on the linear side, but we're getting there.
Yeah. Couple more years?
I think a couple more years. I think, you asked about advanced TV earlier, and one thing that we're trying to do is bring all of the digital capabilities to television. I think Freewheel is helping us do that. It's an important part of what we do, and because the consumer, and it all goes back to the consumer, because they don't see a distinction between the two, neither should we, and we have to accommodate those capabilities in all of our platforms.
Do you really mean all capabilities? And what I specifically think of when you say that is, I don't think any of us believe dynamic ad insertion in a linear feed is coming anytime soon, right? I mean, is there a hope that that's real sometime soon as well?
I had a meeting about it this morning, so we hope so.
Okay.